Hello friends, how are you? Today I am going to launch my new learning series episode 1 on JavaScript Promises. Hopefully it will be helpful for all web developer to understand promises and async it in depth. It will also be beneficial for cracking interviews. Let's start this exciting journey. So, uh, here we discuss about one problem. Before that, we know about promises async it in depth. After that, we solve this problem. Just I told you the problem. We have to write down a code using simple JavaScript function that manage the execution of three distinct tasks in a specific manner. Task 3 will start executing once task 1 and task 2 are completed. And task 1 and task 2 should start at the same time without waiting for each other. So definitely we will solve the problem, but before that we know why we use promise async wait. Actually we know that JavaScript is a synchronous language, but sometimes we have to work in asynchronous way. So asynchronous we can achieve by using promise or async wait or callback. So, what is promise? We just know in details. So, it's commonly asked by the interviewer what are promises in JavaScript. So, on that time, we simply told that promises in JavaScript are a way to handle asynchronous operation. A promise can be in one of three states: pending, resolved, or rejected, as per the diagram. And promises represent a value that may not be available yet but will be available at some point in the future. How to declare promise? So there is one example. I think it's very clear. And from this diagram also, how to implement promise in JavaScript. If we recall this diagram, memorize this diagram, so easily we can write a promise. So here I am define a promise with name async operation promise. What I did here, I just create a random number. After that, I just place one condition. Based on the condition is if the random number less than 60, then it will return resolve, and otherwise reject. It is return fail. So after that, we call the promise by chain method then and cache. In then the success message will console log, and the cache we return the error. And output you can see in the below. You can see if it is 69 it is return fail. If here output is 40, so it is return success. I think from this example it is very clear how to implement promise in JavaScript. Next, when to use promise in real application. So promises are useful when you need to perform time taking operation in asynchronous manner and later handle the result when the result is available. Where we use the promise in real application, we have to we can use API call, file handling, data fetching, animation and visual effects, event by handling. So there is 5 place we can use this promise. After that, there is a commonly asked question by the interviewer that what is the purpose of async wait? Compare it with promises. So on that time, we just straightforward say that promises and async wait can achieve the same goal of handling asynchronous operation. Async wait provides a more concise and readable syntax that resemble synchronous code, whereas promises use a chaining syntax. You can see the chaining syntax then and cache. In earlier also we saw. So in case of promises, we use then and cache, this chaining method, but in case of async wait, we not using chaining method, just async. When we here you can see one example, there is a fetch data is a method. We call this fetch data method in promises on that time we use then catch a, but during async wait we just by using await we call the fetch data under try, and in catch after that we call the method. It is easy to understand. In this way simply we answer this question. So, async wait or promise related, if you have any doubt or you want to see any video related with any JavaScript topic, just email me to LG with SD, LG learn and grow together. So, LG learn, G for grow. So, LG with SD at the gmail.com. Just email me. Definitely, I will read your email, and definitely I will reply back. So now we know promisal. What is promisal? Promisal is a method in JavaScript that takes an iterable, usually an array, that means in input it accept an iterable promises, as for example array of promises, and output it returns a single promise. Resolution: the return promises resolve to an array of the result of the input promises in the same order as the promises were passed in. So let's see one example with running a code. So you can see here I declare three promise: promise 1, promise 2, promise 3. In promise 3 I just write if false then it will reserve, so it will not never it will execute all time, it's reject, that means error occurs. So if in this code if we run we apply promise all for promise 1, promise 2, promise 3, then and it will return go to the catch block, as because it is a promise 3 it will return reject, so it will come under catch block, and it will give the output one of the promise failed. After that error occurred. This will, but if we change line number 4 false to true, on that time result will return. On that case your output will be 342 success in this array. I think the all is clear. Promise all, when we have to use promise all, this is very clear from this example. So the problem what I described in the beginning of this tutorial, so we solve with this knowledge of promise, async, wait, and promise all. With this method we solve this problem. What is the problem? Again we just read task 1 and task 2 should be executed concurrently, meaning they can run all the same time without waiting for the another to complete. Task 3 must only begin its execution after both task 1 and task 2 have fully completed. So let's move to the coding. Here we can see there is a task 1 function, task 2 function. Task 1 function it will take 6 seconds, task 2 will take to complete 8 seconds, and we write one method by using async await. So here we call the task 1 and task 2, but see here I not use await in line number 19 and line number 20. If we use await here, then at first task 1 is completed. If we use task 2 before await before task 2, then task 2 will complete. Then on that case it will take time 6 plus 8 total 14 seconds. But here I am not using await, so task 1 or task 2 both run simultaneously at the same time. So under await I just promise all, under array I give task promise, task 2 promise, so it will take maximum 8 seconds to run both task 1 and task 2. After that whatever the task we want to execute, task 3 we will execute here. So I think you can see the output: task 1 complete, task 2 completed, task 3 started after task 1 and task 2 completed. So I think with this we are able to solve this problem, and we also understand promise, async, wait, with the help of this how we make JavaScript asynchronous us and solve this problem. And so I think this tutorial will be helpful for expert level developer also, and definitely freshers also get benefit from this tutorial. uh, I think that's all. Thank you so much, thank you so much for your time.